I think it's important for us to point that out too, because people hear those words and get triggered by it and think that this is just some negative. Oh, he's using me and blah blah blah, and as if it's a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we're supposed to use and take advantage of each other. That's why we're in the lives of each other. If I can't learn anything from you, then what the fuck am I here for? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And that goes on both sides. If I can't get anything from you in this relationship, then what's the point? You know what I'm saying? You're useless. So I think that it's important for us to find someone that we can uh, take advantage of and learn from to grow ourselves so that we can become the best versions of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? With that person. So,
Right, but I think the key is with that person. I think the problem is today is people are using people to better themselves, and they have no intent on reciprocating that.
I
Like I
think that I
definitely
think
think
that
at
that's
that age, if I had ran into, I mean, just listening to the things of how you say you were when you were younger, you know what I'm saying? Even Marcus, I think at that age, if I had ran into either one of you two, I probably would have the attitude that all men suck, right? I mean, because
hey,
based on
I
what I
ain't
was
never had a
seeing,
female say I was trash. I never
no, no,
dated.
no, no. I'm saying in terms of the way that y'all said y'all play the game. You know what I'm saying? So in me knowing that I probably wanted a relationship and you knew that you didn't want one, that you may have played over me to get what you have wanted while I got stuck thinking that it
No,
was going somewhere and you knew it wasn't.
no, I've never ever been that type of guy. Like
I think
Oh,
she
I'm the
meant
type of
Marcus.
I'm the
I said Vince
the
too. I
I've
did.
always been the one where I would literally turn like I've turned down numerous women all throughout my life.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Yeah, well,
saying?
it was just Marcus.
Look,
Auntie told us last week what was
Yeah,
going on.
I'm Pat still spills the tea.
Laid
I'm
it all out on the
I'm
table.
Pat
So
spills
it
the
was
tea.
definitely Marcus. It wasn't Viz that was acting a
look,
fool. It was Marcus.
Marcus will have you on the corner.
I look, I would. So to be clear, I only lied by omission. I never told no lie. Like if you would ask me a
That's
direct
a lie,
question,
though.
huh?
That's still a lie.
I'm just saying.
That's
I,
like so if we take
so
your same HIV story and she didn't
mhm.
tell him that she had HIV and she slept with him because she because of omission, she's at fault.
Or she
That's
could have
yeah,
said,
no,
man,
that's
Carry on
super
with your
bogus.
story, Marcus. Let's hear
look,
your story.
look,
Go
and
ahead.
That's
she
super
said,
bogus.
man, you ain't gonna use no condoms. You probably could catch something.
Go ahead, Marcus. We want to hear you out.
Probably should catch something.
Yeah,
Um,
I think the
and it was I only did it to two girls. Everybody else I was almost 100% truthful with
I
as
could
far
have
as
been one of those girls.
Two girls. Sucks
I
for
could have been
them.
one of those, and now you forever mess me up for trusting a dude.
but I
yeah
know I will. You know what? All the women that the two women I'm talking about, that they next relationship they was married. So I
You
groomed
helped them.
for marriage. I did, although I was cheating. You know what I'm saying? Everything else I put together so perfectly that they'll tell you now. They're like, "No, you was a great man. It's just you cheated. That's the only thing
Mhm.
you did wrong." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, that's true."
yeah. I was really listening to you, mistaken in your expression about you not knowing yourself,
Mhm.
and because you didn't know yourself, that you would have allowed a little bit more control in some areas that will probably have been to your detriment. I think I think it's interesting because even when you listen to some of the men say that they want younger women, sometimes they want younger women for the very thing that you said that you'd explain.
Mhm.
Like it's not necessarily to control you for your bad. It's to manipulate you in a way that you do the things that I need you to do. And that's a very dangerous thing in the hands of a person who doesn't see any value or that doesn't want to treat you well, right?
Mhm.
But a brother that actually wants to take care of you and treat you well and show you a level of respect and care. Listen, if this man, listen, I think that it's important to understand um that first of all, we're better together than we are apart, right? And that if you have a person that you're willing to be in a relationship with, I think there should be a level of benefit and a doubt that both sides should get. Of course, when you're young and you're learning each other, you're going to have selfish tactics to manipulate things for your benefit and not the benefit of the relationship, right? Like, i.e., sex compliance or i.e., power dynamics in a relationship, that kind of stuff. But I think overall, it is a very interesting conversation that you was bringing up as far as what do you tell children or women that are coming up or men that are coming up, because I sometimes think identity is fluent in certain parts of your life, right? There needs to be a base foundation, but there's some things that should be changeable. Like it should be interchangeable. This part should be able to slide out. You should be able to put this in. But also, I think that the more knowledge that you get, the more likely you are to think that you know better than the other person. And I think sometimes when you're having conversations with women, whether you're older or whatever, when you have some of the conversations with women, if you want him to be responsible for you, but you don't want to listen to him, then to me, that's a recipe for disaster.
every time.
But also, I don't think that you should be ignorant to see a clear problem and not bring that to his attention. Like, yo, you're literally about to go off the cliff, bro. Now, granted, what you do with this information is on you, right? But I see there's a cliff on the other side, and you're about to fall off that cliff. Please stop. Now, it's still up to him to make that decision to stop. But I was really enjoying trying to figure out some of the things that you were bringing up as far as what to tell the next generation that are
Mhm.
18, 19, 20, because I don't believe that necessarily finding yourself um may not necessarily be 100% the answer, but also I do believe that there needs to be a foundation in place that even when somebody wants to quote unquote use you, right, that you're not being used ill-advisedly. Like somebody isn't using you to basically destroy you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's very easy for a man that you care about to use the good things about you to basically abuse you, basically.
And
And
see,
I
and that's
think
the
that
other thing too with women, with girls, especially. I mean, y'all go through puberty and all of that, and that changes for y'all. Y'all puberty, I think, is more of the, well, not to say girls don't get horny when they go through puberty, but for y'all, I think it is probably at times 100. Um, but I think for girls, our times 100 is our emotions as we're going through puberty. So we can fall in love at the drop of a hat during that stage, right? And that's why I
The
think
guys too.
it is
Boys too.
very, very dangerous when we are pushing for older men to date younger women in that regard. It's like, oh, just because she 18, she 18, she grown. No, she's not grown mentally, she's not grown in an emotional state, especially if you are like most girls who, like HD was saying, what do we tell the next generation? Most girls are not taught to really develop who they are. I don't know if boys are, but I think boys get more of a talk in regards to trying to develop themselves, know who they are, things like that, than girls do. So I think boys go in a more in a situation with having a little more knowledge of self than females do. And again, I know I'm seeing from the perspective of a woman, what it appears to be from the outside looking in as a woman. And so when we get into this talk about that, that's why older guys need to get with younger girls so they can mold them and create them and make them into the type of woman they want them to be, which I think is not a good thing. Like even if the dude is a good dude, I think sometimes you may stem like the growth of the potential of the woman of who she's supposed to become. Now, I am very thankful again that my husband wasn't totally in the mindset of manipulation to the point that, you're gonna be that woman that I want, you're gonna do everything. You like that kind of he was open to letting me develop into the woman I became. Like I have him to thank because he definitely had influence on me with certain things. And definitely I would say a positive influence. And I'll say in most areas, there's some areas where the influence got pushed back because the little bit that I did know myself was just based on the foundation and a grounding that I had from my parental upbringing, right? So it was just certain things that he couldn't, I guess, in that mindset break because that was a part of who I was, but not just necessarily recognizing that.